Yeah. What do we got here?
Allan the Food Dude is here with us. Allan, by the way, for any of those who know Allan the Food Dude personally, and there's a lot of you who do, because Allan has his hands in everything in Memphis. And I just learned Allan has experience at 201 Poplar.
No. On the educational side.
Oh.
Educational side. Thank you very much there, Ditch. Good morning. Love to see you guys, too. Well, Dan, you're a lucky man today.
Man, yeah. What we got here?
He's not Dan the Lego Man today. He's Dan the Lucky Man.
Lucky Man. This is all Brightwell's fault.
Okay.
All right. Last week when we were talking about food and all that, we got to talking about seasonal, and Brightwell brought up figs. Oh. And a lot of people grow figs, have figs, and that kind of stuff. And he was talking about figgy pudding and that kind of stuff. Well, as a stroke of absolute madness, Brandon Olmsted from Geek Tank Radio met me in the parking lot on the way out with a big bag of figs from his neighbor's tree.
Wow.
His neighbor had come over and said, dude, I got too many figs. Here, have some.
Thus, what we're eating now.
So what you have there is a portable figgy pudding.
Oh.
Wow.
I thought it's like a piece of bread, but it's really
really dense.
It's dense. It's a little sticky. It is fantastic. That's what it is.
Well, I'm not a fig fan, but this ain't bad.
No, this is not bad at all.
Well, this is that bread pudding consistency.
Right.
So when you're making this stuff, you kind of get some choices to make as you go through.
Would it be better if I put cream on it? Like whipped cream or something?
Oh, my gosh. You add a glaze or something like that, and I just figured that would be a little too messy for the studio.
No, I got you for the studio. What about cream cheese?
Now you're talking my language.
I mean, it's good. I'm just thinking of something to add to it, to even.
A little dash of vanilla ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
And, you can serve these hot. You can serve these cold. You can, what you have there is just basically the portable version.
Yeah.
So I cook those in little loaf pans.
What's the amount of sugar you got in one of these things?
For a full batch, you're looking at 3 cups of sugar, but that makes like 48. But keep in mind, that makes like 48 of them.
Man. Oh, that's good.
Well, that's, 4 cups of fig and 3 cups of sugar and 3.5 cups of flour, and
Dan, you got another one there you can take home to the little lady.
I'll take home to the little lady. Man, that is good. That is really good. My mom's got a big, huge fig tree in the backyard.
Right.
So she's got a couple fruit trees like that. But yes, yeah.
Well, the fun thing is, we've kind of gotten away from seasonal eating.
Right.
Because, you can go to the grocery store and you got blueberries from New Zealand sitting there all year long.
Right.
You got raspberries from Chile all year long. You've got, so we've gotten to the point where we can get stuff around the planet fast enough that we're not
it doesn't
worried
go
about
outside.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you can always tell when it's like spring or late spring and summer in our house because there's always a bowl of fresh cut watermelon in our refrigerator.
Oh.
Every single week I get a seedless watermelon, cut it up for the kids, and there's always a bowl in the refrigerator. That's you could tell the season.
What the hell does a fig look like anyway?
All right. A fig. Have you ever seen a hacky sack?
Yeah.
All right, just make it kind of a dark brown.
Right.
Now, a fig is kind of a weird thing because it's not actually the fruit.
Well,
a fig is actually a flower.
Okay. Did not know that.
It is the flower, and what happens is the fig, the flower grows out in this big round ball, and for certain kinds of figs, now there's just all kinds of fig plants out there.
Right.
In the Mediterranean, one of the figs actually traps a wasp inside of it and grows closed around it. So it makes
it's like a Venus flytrap?
Yeah, it makes it do all the work and fertilize it like that. There's another one called the strangler fig, which is a vine.
Are we eating a strangler fig?
No, this is good old fashioned, just brown turkey.
Oh, okay.
So, they grow as a vine. They'll crush the tree they grew up and then turn into the tree themselves. So, figs are a really interesting and kind of bizarre plant. They're kind of all over the globe.
Yeah.
But they're a big food source. Now in America, we're kind of like, Fig Newtons.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's not a big plant here. but they are amazingly tasty.
Well, this was good eating.
Yes.
I can't imagine it being any better unless I put some cream cheese or some whipped cream on it.
That's about it. Yeah.
I was a little turned off at first, Alan.
Oh,
by
really?
By the density of it.
Well, yeah. Well, like I said, I had two choices. I could have made this the bread, kind of like my pumpkin bread or the other
Or the
stuff.
strawberry bread you brought in that one
Right,
time.
that strawberry
wow.
bread. I could have made it lighter like that.
Right.
But because Jeff had been asking specifically about the fig pudding, I was kind of like, we're going to go with the bread pudding density to give you that thick dessert layer. And that's what we did, and it turns out really tasty. And as you can see, they're amazingly portable.
Yes.
Something you can put in a little Ziploc bag and take with you for later and tote them around. And the cool thing about seasonal is, we don't get fresh figs, but for maybe 2 or 3 weeks out of the year.
Oh, really?
And
that's
it's
about
like
this time of year?
I mean, it is right now.
How popular are fig trees around here?
They're actually fairly common. However, most people don't really do anything with them. It's a big decorative tree. It's got the big leaf.
It's got
looks
the big
good.
leaves.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a moderate-sized tree. They're not
Right.
like huge oak trees or pecan trees.
They grow up to maybe 8 feet at the highest.
And 8, 12.
Yeah,
I've seen them sometimes as high as 20, but they're also kind of bushy and
Yep.
grow around like a magnolia. And they're very decorative and they look good, but even our dear Joe from Tool Talk Radio had one for decades in his backyard.
Did he know what he had?
Well, to him it was a really annoying tree that dropped stuff all over the ground. And you just kind of you don't want to shake him and go,
Yeah.
call me. I'll come get the figs.
Yeah.
Really. So it is a popular landscaping tree, but I don't think people understand that that's the same tree as we get the fruit.
Right.
So let's talk about how people can find out about this fig pudding. This is a portable fig pudding. Is that what you're calling it?
Right. We're just going to call this fig loaf.
Fig loaf. Okay.
A little fig loaf. It's not the bread. It's actually a thicker, heavier loaf. And they can just pop over to thecookingtodayshow.com. The recipe's already up. Pictures are there, and they can follow along with our other little culinary adventures.
And the thing about this, and most of what Alan brings in, come either from his backyard, from the railroad tracks back here by the station, or from Brandon Olmstead's fig tree.
Absolutely.
All right. You don't have any chickens in your backyard, do you?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Alan, the food dude. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Alan.